Hello, all of our Patreon members. Welcome back and thank you for joining us. My name is Melissa from Transitions Equestrian Center. In the last video I posted, we covered on the bit, above the bit, and behind the bit. If you did not get a chance to watch that one, I strongly suggest watching that one first and then coming to this one. It would really help you understand it and kind of figure out everything. But this week we are going to be covering bend. What is the difference between bend and flexion? Correct bend means that your horse is bent evenly through the neck and body around the circle, corner, or whatever turn they're negotiating. Flexion refers to the angle of the horse's head from the poll. This means that you could ask the horse to move on a straight line, but with the flexion to the right or to the left. If the horse is submissive to contact, he will happily flex at the poll without resistance. At the end of this video, Kelsey and I demonstrated some of these exercises with Zanzibar, so you can see some of that. All right, so here's the big question. How do we create bend? It's established when your horse is working even from your contact into your reins, and the horse is able to distinguish between flexion and bend. How do you do this is it's really about having a good body position. When riding on your circles through your corners and your aids, you have to make sure that your hip and shoulder should be slightly forwards and your inside hip and shoulder should slightly be back. Long story short, what does that mean? That your shoulders should match your horse's shoulders. So we've all heard that in our lessons, head, shoulder, belly button, whenever you're going somewhere or you need to look in the direction that you're going. If you do that and look head, shoulder, belly button, that will naturally place your body and your hips where it needs to be. Your rein aids should guide the horse with both reins. Keep your outside hand near the horse's neck with a firm elastic contact to prevent him from falling out through his shoulder. Open up your inside towards the bend. I always tell my students that you should imagine opening up towards the outside top of your hip. So you aim with your pinky to the top outside of your hip. You keep your contact soft and relaxed so that you're not pulling the horse into the bend. Again, you want to make sure that you look head, shoulder, belly button, inside leg, open your hand, hold your outside rein, outside leg so he does not fall out. Your inside leg should be on the girth to encourage your horse to bend around it, and then you're going to keep your outside leg on as a passive aid to prevent the horse's hindquarters from swinging out. When bending correctly, the horse should remain on one track as he negotiates circles, corners, turns, whatever. He should bend uniformly through his body and his neck in the direction of travel and should not tip or tilt his head from one side to the other, which is not the correct flexion. If he is tilting, odds are then that means that you're holding one rein tighter than the other, and instead you need to hold the outside and work and supple the inside. In conclusion, a supple horse is willing to bend around circles through corners and negotiate turns, and you'll gain higher dressage marks. Obviously, if he's balanced and staying through himself, you're going to really see your dressage scores go down if he's tilting through the corners or throwing his shoulders out one way or the other. Supple is when your horse is accepting the bend, and it's really important. Most of your scores throughout your entire dressage test is about suppleness. So in this video, we're going to talk about bend. So I've asked Kelsey right now she's over bending to the inside. So I don't know if you can see it, but right now she can probably, if she's on him, see his entire inside of his face. And you can see that he's bent too much and he's dropping his outside shoulder, but he is on the bit. So now what I'm going to have her do is I'm going to have her do a counter bend. So what she's going to do is you can go ahead and go down the wall. Good. So the counter bend is where the horse is going to be bent towards the wall. And why we're doing this is a good exercise that's going to help her get straight. Good. So that exercise, she did a loop. Good. And now she's doing a leg yield back. Good. So he's above the bit here. So we're going to go ahead and add legs first. Ease back. Supple, supple. Good. Get him on the bit. Down this wall, you're going to counter bend from R to P. Good. And then you're gonna do a correct bend through this corner at a collected trot. Good. And then you're gonna come back around and then, yep. So keep them bent the correct way through here. Now you're gonna come around and do a counter bend, and this is gonna help stand them up, get them balanced. Go straight down the wall, counter bend. Good, good. And then once you get to, back to S, regular bend, and go ahead and pick up a trot. Good. Yep, so if you keep your inside rein on a little bit more, he won't try to drift to the inside as much. And you need way more energy and impulsion from the hind end. Good, yep, straight down the wall, good. Way more impulsion, good. So he's above the bit. Now you just gotta kind of get in there and supple and soften. Try not to ride so flat, so lots of half halts. Every step you should be riding through a half halt. Good, hold that outside, really soft fingers. Ease back, supple, supple. Good, better. Good, so he's starting to take passage steps, so try not to wiggle and bump with your legs. Go ahead and grab the whip so that you can encourage him to go forward. So this is above the bit. So if you notice, his nose is up and out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add leg, hold that outside rein, do a little vibration. That's on the bit, okay? So you notice every time I've gotta get him on the bit, I add a little bit of leg, I hold my outside, open up my inside rein to the top outside of my hip, little vibration. So now if I hold too much hands, he's behind the bit. So obviously you can tell he doesn't like that. Good, so if I wanna get him from behind the bit to above the bit, I just add a little bit of legs. Sorry, not above the bit, on the bit. I just add a little bit of legs. So now he's on the bit. Okay, so the most important part of my ride is the transition. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold my outside, do a little vibration with my inside rein, and I'm gonna talk to him through a series of half halts. I'm not gonna hold and hang on him, and I'm not gonna do this. I literally talk just through my fingertips and a little bit of movement in between my shoulder blades. I'm gonna hold the outside, ride the transitions to a trot. So anytime he gets stuck,